How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be talking about my SIG Rattler. What about this makes it different than a regular Rattler? We're going to go over that in this video because it got so much attention and because it's head to toe in forward controls parts. I thought it would be a great topic for a video for you guys. So we're going to get into it. Some background on the Rattler. The Rattler is originally a Sig Sauer product, a complete rifle, unlike this one. This one's kind of a Frankenstein. It is a complete rifle. It is the original Rattler has a 5.5 inch 300 blackout barrel. That's what this one is. There was a 5.56 variant that exists out there. That was more for simunitions training. And then different barrel lengths exist with the Rattler LT and some of the contracts that SIG has won with the Rattler, the most recent one being the Reduced Signature Assault Rifle, which I think has a 6.25 or a 6.5 barrel length. Anyway, for whatever reason, the Rattler keeps winning a lot of contracts on the military side. And do I think SIG deserves every contract they win? Absolutely not. But I do think they deserve every one they win with the Rattler. I'll admit it. I'll own it. I'm a little bit of a SIGger.
What did he say?
I genuinely think this is probably the best 300 blackout PDW out there, just in terms of what SIG was able to achieve with its accuracy, its size requirements, and the considerations around it being, a 5.5 inch barrel, right? So anyway, starting at the front here, I have this is a new suppressor to me. Suppressor times right now are really low, and I wanted to take advantage of that. I was in the middle of buying a house, having a kid, and so money was tight, but I wanted to take advantage of wait times and get one more suppressor. So went to my local gun store, and sitting on the shelf was the Aero Precision Lahar 30K, K being short, and I didn't know much about the Lahar series, but went and looked up some Pew Science data on it. The other two Lahar models had really good performance, and so it gave me a lot of confidence to pick this up just for 300 blackout specifically, especially because it was going on a really short gun. I've been really impressed with the performance of this can. It is hub compatible, and we'll get into why that matters here in a second, but it performs better than my Sandman S, which I know in terms of sound reduction, that's not a very high bar, but still, I mean, it's it's easily 3/5 the size and weighs less, which again, pretty low bar than my Sandman S, and it's way quieter. So this is our 1210 RF, which is a muzzle device we did in conjunction with Revival Defense, and it is a muzzle brake. It's part of the RF line of muzzle devices. This one happens to be a muzzle brake in 30 cal, and it is designed to work in conjunction with the Rearden Atlas /Q Cherry Bomb system, which is what this hub adapter is. I will say that because of the handguard I have on here, I could not use the Atlas R. I do actually need the threaded portion to be narrower than the handguard and for it to actually, protrude out a little bit. So I have actually a Midwest Industries Rattler handguard, which is just a hair longer than the barrel. And I actually like that because I'm able to, when I use the 1210 RF, get a really, really short package. There's pretty minimal gap here. I know there's the memes going around of the guys like, how small of a gap can I get with my handguard? I'm definitely, that guy with this rifle. But the other thing I like about the Midwest Industries handguard is it actually shortens the overall circumference of the handguard. So it makes it much more like the Rattler LT. They did the exact same thing when they updated the Rattler. Surefire micro lights, very tiny. It does not compare at all to many of the modern lights out there, but this is kind of an experimentation, right, of how small can I get a carbine. And 95% of the time, if I'm using this carbine, it's gonna be with night vision. So I did not want a massive light on here, but just on a Arisaka inline mount, I do have just the tiny little Surefire light on there. Up on the front here, I have the Forward Controls FGM. A little bit of an angle to it. It's got a nice width to it. I think it's maybe a hair big for this, but I do like the feel of it. If Ergonomics and comfort is top priority. I do think this is probably one of the best angled foregrips that you can go with out there. We also have a hand stop variant of it. It's almost identical, it's just a little shorter. And then what do I have mounted up top on here? Now, if you guys have followed the channel for a while, you know I love the BE Myers Maul. Unfortunately, it's a really, really big laser. They do have the new dagger coming out, which I haven't gotten a chance to have hands-on time with, but the Wilcox Raid XE is incredibly tiny, has a lot of amazing performance with it. There's some great videos out there on it, so I'm not gonna go over it too much, but I love the size of it, and I really like their Ergocto switch. So just Velcroed and then zip tied on right here, I do have the Ergocto switch, which makes it very easy with the FGM. I'll see if I can get closer up on here. Makes it very easy with the FGM to access all the controls on the Wilcox Raid XE, and then to also hit my light as well. So I kind of have, the full control over the rifle here with being able to mitigate recoil with, my hand, and then with my thumb, able to work all these controls, adjust the illuminator divergence on the Wilcox, adjust the settings. Just about the only thing I can't do with this setup is, and it really has nothing to do with the laser itself, it's just the ergonomics of this whole configuration, is I can't hit the fire button very easily on the Raid XE. So that's all there is to it. Moving further back, I do have a Aimpoint Duty RDS on a Midwest Industries Aimpoint QD mount. Now, the Duty RDS has an interesting height to it, to where it adds a little bit more height than what the T2 or many other T2 style red dots are going to. So this is a lower 1/3 mount, but because of the way the Duty RDS has its footprint, it actually brings it up to 2.05, I believe, either 2.05 or 2.07. Pretty confident it's 2.05, but anyway, that's still shorter than the 226 that I am used to using on the Unity Fast system, but the MCXs have a 416 height over bore, so there's a little bit of compensation happening there. I have used a MCX with a fast riser. I did not like it. It was just a hair too tall with the configuration that I had. Moving further back, I actually have on an offset, an Arasaka offset, the Infitac or Infinitac, their pistol thermal, which it's 100% made in China. There's not a doubt in my mind that it's made in China, so do with that information what you will. But it's a 256 sensor. It's pretty good for detection. I don't love it for like a dedicated red dot. I probably wouldn't use it for dedicated aiming, even if this was 100% for predator hunting or for hog hunting. Just has some issues with the way the zero works and everything. So don't love it for that. Great for the detection though. It's not always on here. I'll take it off sometimes. But as you can see, it's very tiny. So now let's get into a lot more of the FCD parts. We covered the muzzle device, and then the other part on the upper is going to be the ACF. So we do make an ACF for the MCX, and it is compatible with the Rattler. So I did want to make mention of that. I know I showed that very briefly in my video I did on the very first ACF, and I think maybe I mentioned it on the ACFL, but in case you didn't know, there's an ACF for it. This is actually my first forward controls product I ever owned, which is a MCX compatible EPC. So single dimple EPC, but I've had it for, oh gosh, probably 4 years at this point. So a little sentimental, my very first FCD product. Getting to the lower receiver, it is, you guys know how much I love the LRF. It is the LRF, which is our collab lower we did with Sons of Liberty Gunworks. Just has some really good design that is integrated into it. It has a mag well that is not too big, not too small. For me, I think it's perfect. And then it actually has our trigger guard design built into this lower. This is a billet machined lower, so very high quality. On the grip, I do just have a Magpul MOEK grip, great for PDWs and small guns. I have the ASF, right? So pretty standard configuration. If you've seen any of my other carbines, you know I do like the LRF, and then I like the ASF Q levers in the 50-degree throw, shortened on the support side. And then I have an ABCR on here as well. So this one is rearward biased. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. I have a rearward biased and I have some centered ABCs. I don't really notice the difference. If you have a preference for ABCR or any of the other variants, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you're using it for and why you prefer it. I haven't noticed any real differences, but I will mention that this is compatible with the MCX uppers. So this might be a good time to mention it. I could have mentioned it earlier, but this is a upper conversion kit. So this did not start life as a complete MCX Rattler from Sig Sauer. It was just an upper conversion kit, something you could have bought online and had shipped to your front door. So that came with a trigger group. So you do have to run the Sig trigger group with this specific upper at least. The upper itself and this little knuckle that gives you the ability to put a folding Sig stock on here, which this is just a collapsing telescoping stock. This is one of their more popular ones. I really just like the look of it, honestly, but I think the skeleton ones are also pretty cool too. So, but there you guys have it. This is my forward controls design Sig Rattler, if you could call it that. If you guys have any questions on some of the compatibility or the fitment, like I said, this is a little bit of a Frankenstein. I've tried a lot of things, but if you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll try to check comments and see if you guys have any questions, but there you have it, guys. Have a good day.